Hey, this is Mark Henry, author of Dancing with Energy, Healing, Magic, and Mysticism, here to talk to you more about the occult and the paranormal. Well, as if you remember last week, I was talking about dating in regards to occultists. So I spoke about how to actually meet another occultist if you're interested in dating someone. Groups, meetups, online type of venues, or develop romantic relationships. I also discussed how it's important to have somebody where you have shared interests and values in order to, connect as a couple. So if occultism, if it's not just a passing phase, not just a passing interest, and you are all in, then you should consider dating someone that is like you, or has similar interests, or at the very least is an ally where you can speak with them and you can be open and they can be curious and have discussions. What you probably are not going to want to do is to be dating someone who is very oppositional about your beliefs and the things that for a lot of us is just kind of part of our identity. It's who we are. It's how we move through the world. And if you have someone who is very much against that, that can be quite a wedge in a relationship. So I am doing a second video to that. But before I begin, just want to remind you that I have an Etsy store and that I am offering attunements, spiritual connections to various entities. You can use it to level up your magic and improve your life. I just added Bacchus, who is the 17th goetic spirit of the Lesser Key of Solomon. So if you are interested in having the connecting with the energy that can help people reveal their secrets to you, in order also to help understand the emotions of other people. People are confusing, or if you need help developing courage in a specific context, maybe you're working on a project and you need a little bit more motivation and courage in order to complete it. Maybe it's something kind of difficult. Check that out. I'm going to put a link in the description. Attunements have been helping a lot of people and I've been getting good feedback on them. But all of that aside for a moment, let's talk about today's video. So given of what I talked about last week, the next part of that is what might dating an occultist look like, and how do you develop a healthy relationship? What might be some of the things that you do together in order to cultivate kind of a good connection? This is something I can speak from experience, because I would say at least 70 to 80% of the people that I've dated have been occultists. So the scenarios that I'm going to present to you are ones that I have been involved in. So pay close attention, because these are really cool things that can happen if you're in a relationship with someone who shares your interest and your values. So let's pretend that your partner and yourself are both into divination. And it could be divination of any kind. It could be the runes. It could be cartomancy, the card reading, or spirit communication. All of which where you can get and reveal hidden information. Maybe you have a question. Maybe you have something serious that you're looking towards. Maybe an issue at work, or a problem with a family member, or you're curious about the patterns that are laying out for your future, and you want more information. Now, I would say that with this particular scenario, that you could go to your partner if they have the skills to render this reading. Also, if it's somebody you're in the level of a relationship where you can trust them. Also, it's wise that if you go to them, that you can assure that they're going to be unbiased. For example, If it has to do with the relationship between you and them, you might hold that off to another reader. And you might say, well, why go to anybody else? Why can't I just do it myself? Well, you can certainly do it yourself, but as I've spoken about in other videos, we tend to have a bias and we don't always see everything, and we run the risk of reading the cards the way that we want it to be, not necessarily the way that it is. So I've noticed that the really good readers will go to other people, will go to friends, or go to partners, or will go to someone else. It could be even a paid professional outside of your social network. So if you have somebody who can read your cards, for example, who is your partner, then that is definitely something you can do. It's also kind of a shared experience. You can bring them in and kind of see the patterns. Because who knows, maybe in a small way that this might kind of affect them. And you can go back and forth. When they have an issue or a problem, you can read their cards, or you can talk to the spirits about them and convey information. So it's actually a pretty sweet deal if you have the right person for it. Okay, so the second scenario, suppose that you live with your relationship partner and you both share bills. Yes, we're going to talk about money here. So you share bills, and maybe, various bills like the electric bill, the rent, or the mortgage if you have a house, water, all those types of things. Now, and each couple has their different ways of working that. Maybe the guy pays for all the bills, or vice versa. Or maybe you kind of break it up. Each bill gets to a specific person. However, it doesn't matter how it's worked out with this particular scenario, because each person that is part of your household that is contributing represents one half of the equation of your financial security, in a sense. Because if you do live together and you're contributing to rent or the mortgage, housing is so important, and of course keeping the lights on and air conditioning and everything is it's vital. So one of the things that you can do together is money magic. Now, you might have one person who's really good at prosperity magic, and you might have one person who's not so good. However, I would say that if you are the one that's really good at it, that you can use magic in order to support the other person in what they're doing. Why? Because if their part of what they contribute falls, that affects you. So you might say, well, why do you have to do everything? Well, you don't have to do everything. Hopefully, there is a balance. However, by you not acting, do you really want to risk not having everything paid? So magic is a small price to pay to support somebody. So you're helping them, and in a way, you're kind of helping yourself in the whole system, because you're not in it alone. If the person is versed in money magic, they can either, do it for themselves, or you can kind of support each other and bring it into kind of a whole, Sometimes it's easier to do magic for other people than yourself, just like kind of the card reading. So when you have two people who have certain skills, let's bring them all together and make us, like, both people rise up. Okay, so the final part, a little bit more intimate topic. You can do sex and seduction magic. Now, if you're with somebody and you have kind of a good, healthy relationship, you might say, well, why do I need to do seduction magic with somebody I already have? Well, because most of the people think of it, okay, well, I want somebody that I don't have, so I'll do seduction magic and bring them into my energy, into my circle or whatever. And I would say that you can use it while you're in a relationship in order to increase desire and connection and to enhance the parts of you that are attractive, and it would work the same way with them, and you can kind of bring each other closer. Now, before I would do the seduction magic, what I would say is that make sure that you have a fairly solid relationship where you're bonded in other ways, so that the energy of the seduction magic doesn't enhance weaknesses within that particular system. So I would, and you can do it as intensely or as lightly as you desire. But it's kind of a way to kind of deepen things, keep things spicy. You can also we're talking about working together. Sex magic isn't about necessarily sex. Sex is the tool in order to bring about the magic. So if you have something that you want to work on together, for example, maybe you are using it to attract money in order to go on like a really nice vacation. That would be something that you can use sex magic on together. So both of those, those things the seduction magic can help you, again, increase desire, bonding, those sorts of things. So all of those three scenarios are perfectly healthy and things that you can do with another occultist. Things that kind of can make it fun. And there are also things that if you might not be able to have the privilege of getting involved in if you were dating someone who wasn't into all of that. So I wanted to throw those things out there, and I hope that if you are desiring somebody that shares your occult interests, that you're able to find someone, because it can be pretty cool. All right, please subscribe and like. Comment, please. I want to know what you think. In fact, some people have like some reservations and some feelings behind seduction magic. So what do you think about seduction magic if you're in a kind of a good relationship with a healthy person? Let me know. Let me know. All right. I will talk to you and see you in a future video. Take care. Bye.